This is part 3 of my personal productivity workflow. You need to go back and watch part 1 and 2 for this to make sense. I'm talking about the capture process. This is part of the triad of capture, review, and do. You have to have all 3 of these in your workflow. If any one of those is missing, then things are going to become chaotic very quickly. The getting things done process is similar, slightly more expanded out of capture, organize, clarify, reflect, and engage, but really they can be combined into just capture, review, and do. And I want this to be as simple as possible so that you can spend less time faffing around and masturbating with productivity methods and more time actually doing and taking you towards your ultimate life. So, capture. Command, Shift, and O is the keyboard shortcut I use to just open up TickTick and start typing in whatever I need to know or whatever I need to remember for later. And with that, you can assign the list, you can assign the time, and it has natural language input as well. So I can say, buy lemons tomorrow, 9 AM, shopping list. There we go, it's in the process. Next, for capture, I have something called workingmemory.txt. This is an idea from Cal Newport, and this is if you're in the middle of a task. We want to really minimize the amount of attention residue that I talked about before that pulls you away from the task that you're currently doing. And you will often find when you're deep in focus with something comes up and you're like, oh, I need to remember that for later, or I should probably, what do I do? Put it in workingmemory.txt. Open it up. So I use the Evernote toolbar. So just in the top menu bar, there's a little bit of plain text that you can just bang in to sort it later. So that's if it's something that's not an immediately tangible task that you can schedule into your TickTick, but instead it's something that you just need to revisit. Stick it in workingmemory.txt. The reason that I'm so obsessional about getting your capture process as clear as possible is that it has to be complete, because if it's not, you won't trust it, and you're opening up the scope for loops to open up in your brain again and create this sense of background fuzz and background stress. If you can fully trust your capture process, then you know that it's all in hand and you can just focus on what you're doing now, and there's nothing to worry about because everything else will just get done in due time, as long as your review process is also bulletproof. And we're going to cover that in a second as well. So you have inboxes. If you're like me, you have several inboxes, and I wish I had fewer of them, but there's many ways for people to hassle you and contact you and basically pull you away from what you're doing and pull you towards what they think is their priority. I used to have a boss that she was showing me something on the computer, going through a process with me, and she got an email that said, urgent, please respond, and it came up on the bottom. And I was like, oh, do you not want to get that? She was like, I decide what's urgent. Everything is urgent to the sender of the email. And I was like, bloody hell, that really stuck with me, that your priorities are your priorities, and don't let some email in your inbox or a notification come up and just derail you from what you're doing. If you allow the world that right, then you will be completely at the mercy of it, and everyone and their dog that wants to get a hold of your attention at the expense of what's important to you. So for the first thing, for heaven's sake, turn off your notifications. It makes me want to be sick when I see people that have notifications from any app. That is just instant death as far as I'm concerned. So do it right now. Go to your iPhone, your Android, or whatever, turn off all notifications for all apps. You can leave phone calls on, but for anything else, you should check it on your terms. Next, you want to use your inbox like Tinder. So yes or no, and you clear it every 48 hours. So you can do this with your emails, or even with your TickTick as well. They have a sort of Tinder-like function where every time something comes into your inbox, everything should be either acted on now, scheduled, delegated, or deleted. And those are the only options. If there's something that is pending an action from someone else, or you're waiting for something to happen, then don't worry, I've got a process for that, which I'll cover in one of the next videos. So you've got your inbox process. For email, the apps that I'd recommend would be Mail Butler with Apple Mail. So Mail Butler is an extension that you put into Apple Mail to allow you to either snooze emails or to schedule ones in advance, along with a lot of other cool features as well. Absolutely essential, and it's free. And you can also send emails directly into your Evernote if you need them to reference for future. So a good example of that might be insurance documents, or anything that's admin related, or your car service, or your tax, or whatever else that you need to retrieve at some point in a later date. Don't keep it in your email client. That is a mistake. Next, a capture process for links. Let's say somebody texts you a link or by WhatsApp or something that you want to check out later. Maybe they send you an article. Put it into your Pocket or Toby. Those are two apps that I'd fully recommend. So Pocket is a read later app. It's purely a text cleaner. So you just have, like, either on your phone or on your laptop, a feed of things that you've saved to read later. And it simplifies them down to clean text and also allows you to have text to speech so you can listen to the articles that someone has sent you. The next solution is Toby, which is a tab manager and allows you to split things into different windows of tabs. And you could organize those by reading list, watching list, listening list, by different domains of your life, however you want to play it. Finally, if you're on the go and you still need to capture something, then consider using Apple Voice Notes, Siri, a physical notebook. I really like the idea of a physical notebook, just having a pen and a little paper. It makes it look like an absolute G as well. And also using TickTick Mobile. And I'm going to cover how I use TickTick in the next video as well, but it's multi-platform and allows you to just quickly capture things. It also has an inbuilt Siri integration, so you can just say, "Hey Siri, remind me XYZ," and it'll ping it straight into your TickTick. I was quite scared of saying "Hey Siri" there, because just in case it stops filming and goes, "What would you like?" Finally, don't have email on your phone. If you can't process it then and there, then it's not worth opening and just adding to the general stress. That's something that you'll just deal with later. So I would recommend having a window of time that you check your email and dealing with stuff when you have the capacity to actually work through that. And I'm going to talk about how to organize some time so that you can do that form of shallow work in video number 6 as well. Alright, see you in the next video.